Imagine an entire town in America, just gone. Homes abandoned, streets eerily silent. All the people vanished. They left behind a mystery that, to this day, has never been fully solved. What could make an entire community just pack up and leave everything behind? In this video, we're going to dive deep into the story of the American town that disappeared. We'll explore what led to its downfall and uncover the strange and unsettling theories about why it was abandoned. Was it a devastating natural disaster? A secret government project that went wrong? Or was it something far more bizarre, something no one could have ever predicted? This isn't just a story about an empty town. It's a puzzle of history, human nature, and unanswered questions. We're going to piece together the clues, look at the evidence, and try to understand what really happened. Let's start by traveling back in time. The town, which we'll call Evergreen Hollow for our story, was once a thriving, bustling community nestled in a remote, picturesque valley. Founded in the late 1800s during a mining boom, it was a place of hope and opportunity. Families moved in, built homes, opened businesses, and created a tight-knit society. For decades, Evergreen Hollow was alive. You'd hear children playing in the streets, the sounds of the local diner, the chatter of neighbors over garden fences. It was a classic American small town, full of life and dreams. But then, sometime in the mid-20th century, something started to change. The prosperity that built the town began to fade. The mines, once rich with ore, started to run dry. Jobs became scarce, and the younger generation began looking for opportunities elsewhere. This wasn't unusual. Many small towns across America faced similar economic declines. But what happened to Evergreen Hollow was different. It wasn't a slow, gradual decline. It was a sudden, almost overnight, exodus. One day, the town was there. The next, it was a ghost town. The post office stopped receiving mail. The schoolhouse doors were shut for good. The general store was left with goods still on the shelves. It was as if everyone had decided, all at once, to simply walk away. They left behind personal belongings, family photos, furniture, even clothes in their closets. It's this detail that makes the story so chilling. People don't just leave their memories behind without a very good reason. So, what was that reason? This is where the theories begin, and they range from the plausible to the truly strange. Let's start with the most logical explanation: environmental disaster. Some historians believe that the very industry that gave the town life also led to its death. Years of mining could have contaminated the local water supply with toxic heavy metals. Perhaps a slow-acting, invisible poison was seeping into the town's wells, causing mysterious illnesses. Faced with a silent and deadly threat to their health, the residents might have organized a mass evacuation, choosing to abandon their homes rather than risk their lives. This theory makes a lot of sense. It explains the urgency and the completeness of the abandonment. But there are no official records of a public health crisis in that area at that time. If the government was involved in an evacuation, wouldn't there be some paper trail? This leads us to our second theory: government intervention. What if the town was cleared for a secret government project? The Cold War was a time of paranoia and secrecy. The U.S. government was conducting all sorts of clandestine operations and experiments, many of which required vast, isolated areas of land. It's possible that Evergreen Hollow was located on a site deemed perfect for a military base, a testing ground for new weapons, or even something more exotic. According to this theory, the residents were offered a buyout, sworn to secrecy, and relocated. The government would have then wiped the town from official maps and records, effectively making it disappear. This would explain the lack of historical documentation and the suddenness of the departure. It's a compelling idea, but again, without declassified documents or a whistleblower, it remains pure speculation. Now, let's venture into the more unusual theories. Some locals from neighboring areas have passed down stories that are much harder to explain. They talk about strange lights in the sky over the valley where Evergreen Hollow was located. They whisper about unusual weather patterns and strange magnetic fields in the area that would make compasses spin wildly. These stories have fueled a third theory: extraterrestrial or paranormal activity. Could the residents have witnessed something so terrifying, so otherworldly, that they fled in fear? Maybe they didn't just leave. Maybe they were taken. While this sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie, proponents of this theory point to the personal items left behind. If you were fleeing a flood or a chemical spill, you might grab your family photos. But if you were running from something you couldn't comprehend, you might leave everything. And there's another layer to this paranormal angle. Legends of the area speak of an ancient curse on the land, long predating the town itself. Native American folklore sometimes warns of certain places being wrong or inhabited by malevolent spirits. Could the miners have awakened something that had been dormant for centuries? Some believe the town's collective bad luck, from the failing mines to the supposed illnesses, was not a coincidence, but the work of a supernatural force driving them away. They say the town wasn't just abandoned. It was rejected by the land itself. As we dig deeper, the mystery only intensifies. There are no death certificates, no mass graves, just an empty space where a community once thrived. Researchers and amateur sleuths who have tried to find the exact location of Evergreen Hollow have had a surprisingly difficult time. Old maps are inconsistent, and landmarks have changed over the decades. It's as if the wilderness has actively reclaimed the spot, erasing the scars of human settlement. The few who claim to have found the ruins describe a deeply unsettling atmosphere. They speak of an unnatural silence, a feeling of being watched, and a profound sense of sadness that hangs in the air. Buildings have decayed, but not in a normal way. They seem to have been swallowed by the forest, with trees growing right through the floors of old houses. So, what are we to believe? Was it a toxic spill that forced a secret evacuation? A top-secret government land grab? Or did the residents of Evergreen Hollow encounter something that defies all rational explanation? The truth is, we may never know for sure. The story of this vanished town has become a modern American folktale, a cautionary story where the facts have blurred with fiction over time. Each theory holds a piece of a possible truth, but none can fully explain all the bizarre details. The lack of a definitive answer is what makes the story so captivating. It forces us to use our imagination and confront the idea that some mysteries are not meant to be solved. The story serves as a powerful reminder of how fragile our communities can be, and how quickly the places we call home can be lost to time, nature, or forces we don't understand. The empty streets of Evergreen Hollow are a silent testament to a forgotten chapter of American history. Now it's your turn to be the detective. Based on everything we've talked about, the failing economy, the potential environmental disaster, the possibility of a secret government project, and the strange paranormal tales, what do you think happened? Which theory seems the most plausible to you? Or do you have another idea entirely? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm really curious to see what you all think happened to the American town that disappeared. Thanks for watching. If you found this mystery as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown. We'll see you in the next video.